don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button. Also, check the last part of the video for you to know the next part or the next topic.
Hi, good day. Welcome to our math class. Today's topic is about sum and product of the roots of quadratic equation. For the sum and the product of the roots, meron tayong formula for that. For the sum, we have here negative b over a, and for the product, we have c over a. Let's have first an example. 5x squared plus 9x minus 16 equal to 0. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure na naka-standard form yung ating quadratic equation. Then after checking if naka-standard form na yung quadratic equation, so we have to identify the value of a, b, and c. So just like what we are doing in solving quadratic equation by quadratic formula and by finding the discriminant, so we're going to get first the value of a, b, and c. For our first example, the value of a is 5, the value of b is 9, and the value of c is negative 16. So after we get the value of a, b, c, we're going to use the formula to get the sum and product of the roots. For the sum, the formula for that is negative b over a. So we're just going to substitute the value. The value of b is 9. We have here negative 9 over the value of a is 5. So 9 over 5. Therefore, the sum of the roots is negative 9 over 5. For the product, we are also going to use the formula. And the formula for that is c over a. Let's try to substitute the value of c. We have here negative 16 and the value of a is 5. So therefore, the product of the roots is negative 16 over 5. So ganun lang po kasimple. Next, we have m plus 3 times m plus 8 equal to 0. Obviously, hindi pa siya naka-standard form. And actually, hindi pa nga natin nakikita yung quadratic term. So to make it standard, we're going to do the FOIL method. So m times m, which is the first term, we have m squared. And then o for outer, m times 8 is equal to 8m. And then the inner, 3 times m, we have 3m. And then the last terms, we have 3 times 8 is equal to 24, then equal to 0. Not yet done with our standard form because we need to combine the like terms, 8m and 3m. m squared, 8m plus 3m is equal to 11m plus 24 equal to 0. Now, naka-standard form na yung ating given quadratic equation. Ang gagawin natin, we're going to identify the value of a, b, c. The value of a is 1. The value of b is 11. And the value of c is 24. To get the sum and product of the roots, we're going to use the formula for the sum. We have negative b over a. Substitute the value. The value of b is 11. We have negative, and then b is 11 over 1, which is the value of a. And to simplify that, the value of the sum of the roots is negative 11. Next one is the product. The formula for the product is c over a. Substitute the value. the value of C is 24 and the value of A is 1. Therefore, our product is 24. Next, we have 10x squared equals to 40. Again, not yet in standard form. So to do that, we have to subtract 40 both sides. 40 minus 40. Do it to the left, do it to the right. Cancel 40 minus 40. We have 10x squared minus 40 equal to 0. Here, ang kaibahan nito dun sa ating mga naunang given ay dalawa lang yung term niya. So, meron ditong term na nawawala. So, let's try to identify the value of A, B, C. So, the value of A is in the quadratic term. So, that is 10. The value of B, yun yung may katabi na X or any variable. So, linear term yun. So, yun yung nawawala dito sa ating given. Since wala tayong linear term, so the value of B is 0. Then, the value of our C is our constant, which is negative 40. After that, we're going to get the sum and the product of the roots. For the sum, again, we have negative B over A. Substitute the value, we have negative and then 0 over 10. Simply, we can just have 0. 0 over 10 is 0. So the sum of the roots is 0. For the product, the formula is C over A. Substitute the value again. The value of C is negative 40 and then A is 10. Simplify that. Negative 40 divided by 10 is negative 4. So the product of the roots is negative 4. What if kung baliktad naman yung situation? Kasi a while ago, we have the quadratic equation and then we tried to identify the sum and the product of the roots. What if kung it's the other way around? Ang given ay yung sum and product of the roots and then we are going to identify what equation can we form or what quadratic equation can we form. For that, we have a format para mas madali nating makuha yung equation kapag ang given ay ang sum and product ng roots. So, ang format for that is x squared minus the sum and then x plus the product equal to 0. So, tandaan nyo lang itong format na to. And then, after that, we're going to input the sum and then the product here. And then, yun na, we have already the quadratic equation. Let's try this. Ang sum ng roots ay 4 and then ang product ay 7. Let's try to use the format. We have here x squared minus the sum, which is 4. So, i-input natin yun. Then, don't forget the x. So, that is for the linear term. And then, plus the product, which is 7, equal to 0. And that's it. So, kung ang given natin ay 4 and then 7 for the sum and then the product, ang ating equation na mabubuo ay x squared minus 4x plus 7 equal to 0. Let's have another one. What if we have negative 8 and the product is 19? Actually, you can use any variable. Pwedeng y squared pwedeng m. So it's up to you. Basta tama lang yung makukuha yung quadratic equation. We have here negative 8 for the sum, and then the product is 19. Gamitin ulit natin tong format, x squared minus the sum. Okay, kung mapapansin nyo, dun sa format, naka-minus na siya. So, minus yon. And, ang sum natin ay negative 8. So, input pa natin yung another negative 8. So, madodoble. So, itong minus is from the format, minus. And then, yung sum ay negative 8. And then, x plus the product, which is 19, equal to 0. Kapag ganito, we need to simplify still. Negative times negative is positive. Therefore, we have x squared plus 8x plus 19 equal to 0. So, ito yung ating quadratic equation. Kapag ang sum ay negative 8 and then ang product ay 19. Let's have another example. We have sum is equal to 3 over 2 and then the product is negative 1. So, ano yung mabubuo nating quadratic equation from this? Again, let's have the format, x squared minus sum and then x plus the product equal to 0. Let's input the sum and then the product, x squared minus 3 over 2x plus negative 1 equal to 0. We're going to simplify x squared minus 3 over 2x minus 1. Ang technique dyan, kung ang product mo ay negative, pwede namang idiretso na ng minus and then kung ano man yung number. For example, kung ang product natin ay negative 5, so pwede natin idiretso dito na minus 5. So instead na daanan pa natin tong step na to. So dito pinakita ko lang yung pag-i-input ng given dun sa format. Equal to 0. But this is not yet our final answer. So hanggat maaari, dapat wala tayong term na may fraction. So hanggat maaari, lahat ng fraction ay tatanggalin natin. So i-revise natin to. We're going to modify our equation. To do that, we are going to multiply the whole equation by 2. So multiply everything by 2. So 2 times x squared is 2x squared. And then here, in the linear term, we can already cancel 2. So what will remain is 3x. And negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. And of course, 0 times 2 is 0. So our final answer will be 2x squared minus 3x minus 2 equal to 0. For our last example, we have 1/2 for the sum and 2/3 for the product of the roots. Let's write first the format. We have x squared minus sum x plus the product equal to 0. Let's input the sum and then the product, x squared minus 1/2 x plus 2/3 equal to 0. Again, we're going to modify the equation by removing the denominator. Ngayon, kung mapapansin natin, magkaiba yung denominator. And if you still remember, kapag ganito yung given, we're going to find the LCD or the least common denominator. So, ano yung least common denominator ng 2 and 3? Ngayon, pag nalaman natin yung least common denominator ng 2 and 3, so yun yung imumultiply natin sa whole equation. Ang LCD ng 2 and 3 ay 6. So we're going to multiply the whole equation by 6. 6 times x squared, 6x squared. And then, kapag may fraction, ganito po ang ginagawa. We're going to divide first the LCD by the denominator, and then we're going to multiply it by the numerator. Ganito po. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then times 1, we have 3. So for our linear term, we have minus 3x. For our constant, we have here 6 divided by 3 is 2. And then 2 times 2 here in the numerator, we have 4 equal to 0. Therefore, our final answer will be 6x squared minus 3x plus 4 equal to 0. What if kung given yung quadratic equation and then one of the roots is also given and then we are going to look for the second root? Well, we can just solve this given by factoring. But we are going to use the formula for sum and product to get the second root. Actually, pwedeng sum lang, makukuha na natin yung second root, and pwede rin naman yung product lang, makukuha rin natin yung second root. But use the more appropriate dun sa dalawang formula. Kung mas appropriate yung sum, and then use it. Kung product naman, then ito yung gagamitin natin. Now, how are we going to use the formula for the sum or the product of the roots in order for us to get the second root? So before using the formula, let's try to look for the value of a, b, c. For a, we have 1. For b, we have 15. And for c, we have negative 54. Let's try to use first the formula for the sum of the roots. Ngayon, kapag ganito yung given, na given yung isang root, we're going to write the formula as m sub 1 plus m sub 2 is equal to negative b over a. Kasi nga, ito ay sum of the roots, so therefore, kapag pinag-add natin yung dalawang roots, so ang formula for that is negative b over a. So, ito yung gagamitin natin. After that, we're going to substitute the value. So, ang nawawala dito ay m sub 2. So, ito yung ating isasolve. So, ang m sub 1 natin is 3. And then, wala pa yung m sub 2. So, we're going to solve for that. And then, ang value ng b ay 15. We have negative 15. Because in the formula, we have negative. And then, over the value of a is 1. Simplify muna natin yung right side. 3 plus m sub 2 is equal to negative 15. So, hindi pa alone yung variable. We still need to remove 3. So, para tapos na yung solving. To do that, we have to subtract 3 to both sides. 3 minus 3 plus m sub 2 is equal to negative 15 minus 3. Do it to the left, do it to the right. Cancel na yung 3 minus 3 since 0 na yan. And then alone na yung ating variable. We have m sub 2 is equal to negative 18. Therefore, ang value ng ating m sub 2 is negative 18. Now, let's try to use the formula for the product. Of course, instead of writing m sub 1 plus m sub 2, since it's the product, we have to write it as m sub 1 times m sub 2. Since we are pertaining already to the formula of the product of the roots. And then we have c over a for the product. Same thing, we have to substitute the value. M sub 1 is 3. and then m sub 2, and then c is equal to negative 54, and then a is equal to 1. Again, simplify the right side. 3m squared, or rather 3m sub 2 is equal to negative 54. And then divide 3 both sides para matanggal yung 3. M sub 2 is equal to, so negative 54 divided by 3, still that is negative 18. Yun nga yung sinasabi ko, gamitin nyo man yung formula for the sum or gamitin yung formula for the product, you will still come up with the same answer. Ngayon, para sa mga beginners natin, maybe you are thinking na meron tayo ditong number pa and we are not yet done solving. No. Ito ay subscript lang, so just to indicate the difference between the first root and then the second root. Pero ito na po yung pinaka-variable natin, so we don't have to remove that para maging alone yung ating variable. So ito na po yung ating final answer.